Hi everyone. I hope you're all having a great week so far and that the course has been going well. First I wanted to say some words of appreciation that I found that your posts, the quality of your posts have been uh, really very good and such a joy to read and respond to. And uh, they're deep and they're well thought out. Um, and I appreciate the vulnerability that a lot of you are showing as well in sharing how these relate to your personal experience. So it seems like so far a very rich experience, and that includes your sharing about your practice experience. Some of you obviously had quite the experience, and it's great to see and rewarding to hear about for everyone. So it will be interesting to see how this all develops as we keep going and through different kinds of traditions. It's all going to change relatively soon, in a week or so, quite considerably. But for now, here we are in Buddhism and coming into this practice component of Buddhism. And I've put a practice there called Brahma Vihara practice. It's one that I've experienced relatively extensively because I took a 5-day Brahma Vihara retreat. And I have to say, it was a great experience. It was one of the best meditation retreats I've ever been on. In that I came out of it with the quietest mind that I've experienced coming out of a short retreat like that. And as you'll see in the explanation, the Brahma Vihara as well, it means the four immeasurables, and it's a practice for four kinds of phrase. That you don't focus on your breath as in typical meditation. You focus on this phrase. It's not even really a mantra. It's a phrase, and they represent loving kindness, compassion, sympathetic joy, and equanimity. And when I was on the retreat, we went through all of the phrases, and we'd spend a day on each phrase. And it needs a lot more time than 5 days, actually, because the idea with these phrases is that you start with yourself, and then you expand the wish. Let's say if it's loving kindness, I expand that outwards. So I may wish that I be free from all forms of suffering and harm, and I go with that for a day or so, and then I wish that my friends would be free from all forms of suffering and harm, and then I wish that my neighborhood, and then my town, and then my enemies, and then the world, and then the universe and all of its beings be free from all suffering and harm. I expand the practice outward. And actually, I have to admit that on the retreat that I did, I never actually did that. I actually stuck with loving kindness the whole time, and I'd stuck with it focused on me. So it might sound selfish, but it actually had the most profound effect. I never felt ready to move on. And I feel like you guys should take a similar kind of approach. You do what feels right with this practice. So, and then I would pick one that appeals to you, pick one of the four, and then work with that the whole week. I mean, you don't have to do that, but that's what I would suggest. And you can do the progression if it feels right from yourself to the outward, if that feels right. But if you want to spend the whole week and saying that phrase focused on you, just you, then go with that. Go with what feels right with these phrases. If I was to characterize the effect of them, what I would call them antidotes. So we've talked about, we encountered the Yoga Sutras, and yoga is the stilling of the whirlpools of the mind, that kind of thing, and then the seer rests in the true self. Well, how do you still the whirlpools of the mind? Well, one is in the Yoga Sutras, and all of the practices included, And this is another. They're a set of antidotes to the whirlpools of the mind. And the whirlpools of the mind are driven by things that are counter to these four phrases. And these four phrases, therefore, in my experience, quiet the mind. And therefore, they lead to a state in which one can perform actions from a quiet mind, peaceful mind, and therefore by accumulate less karma. And I'm going to read you, you'll be reading from the Dhammapada next week, but I'm going to read you a supporting quote from it. All we experience is preceded by mind, led by mind, made by mind. Speak or act with a corrupted mind, and suffering follows, as the wagon wheel follows the hoof of the ox. All we experience is preceded by mind, led by mind, made by mind. Speak or act with a peaceful mind, and happiness follows like a shadow that never leaves. So, four immeasurables are designed to have that effect, to be using the mind in that peaceful way. And so I call them antidotes, really. And so we'll see if they work that way for you, if they work as antidotes. I know that a lot of you are, last practice time, many of you did your own thing and you all have your own practices. But I would encourage you to take on the practice. Don't just do your own practice, the one that you're used to, unless it really reflects the tradition that we're in. Let's assume that meditation is not all equal, that different forms of meditation might do different things in different traditions. So let's you know, if there's another Buddhist practice that you have that you really feel strongly about that you want to do other than this one, then that's okay. And tell us about it when you share. But don't let's just do any meditation practice just because you're used to it. We're trying to do Buddhist, Hindu practices, Buddhist practices, Jewish practices, Christian practices, Taoist practices, you know, like that. So that we're having an experience of that tradition, that tradition's flavor of meditation, contemplation, which I think we'll find there may be something in common underneath, but they're all different, and some of them may have large effects on you, and some of them may not. So I look forward to experiencing this with you, and hope you enjoy the readings. There's some really good readings. The Heart Sutra is obviously a really key component of Mahayana Buddhism and even Vajrayana Buddhism as well. So, and the other readings are all interesting this week. So, enjoy. Right, bye.